Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Alvin here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I welcome you back. I went to McDonald's earlier to get myself prosperity burger. This 1 for 1. Today's the last day, 15. It's on today's Wednesday, I guess. It started on a Monday. It's 1 for 1, so basically one is $3.30. Usual price is $6.50. Anyway, why I remember talking about it is because with this topic at hand, that to live below your means, apparently Mr. Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame, he claims that if you are living below your means, you're poor. It will keep you poor basically, and I kind of disagree with that. But I understand where he's coming at, because to what he's claiming is if you have assets, you can pay for your liabilities. That's not wrong, to be very honest with you. That's how the world works. If you have cash and you have expenses, your cash pays for its expenses. And if you are having more expenses than your cash, it basically means you're in debt. And what he's claiming is that if you somehow accumulate your assets through other people's debt, basically, you borrow or you ask, get people to pay you yourself. Like for instance, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, his assets is leveraging on other people's debt. Like, people buy his books, go to his talks, then listen to him and everything. That's leveraging. Then of course, he also leverages on his own asset, or borrow back from banks before, and then he buys liabilities, as in he pay his liability, like his sports car, his fancy Lamborghinis that he show off in that video. For context, that video, because it was Robert Kiyosaki talking about a topic, that's why that video blows up. Usually in his actual channel, I can't remember his name, I'll put out a picture of it, where his subordinates, his underlings, his people that manages that account, that YouTube channel, nobody really cares. It's only a few thousand views, but when Mr. Robert Kiyosaki speaks, it goes into the tens and thousands, sometimes in the 100,000, because of his fame So what I'm trying to get at, for him to claim that to live below your means that you will be poor, it will keep you poor, I disagree. Because for Mr. Robert and a select few that actually know how to leverage on other people's debt, these entrepreneurs, they know what they're doing. And he has done it before. He has also been bankrupt before. He has declared bankrupt because of it, and yet he has come out on top. And I've also have seen people also doing it. For context, I'm 40 this year. I've worked in an SME before. Some of the toy companies, those that do distribution, also leverage on other people's debt. They actually will figure out that in order to buy into or to pay for their big house mortgage, to buy into the fancy car, you basically have to have accumulate assets, and the asset is the debt that people they take money from. They take people's money from. So, okay, for the average folks like you and me, to play that game, you better be aware that you are, for one, doing it with the mind that that this debt that you're accumulating to create asset is not to be played with. It has to be a one-track mind that you sort of kind of need to put money back into the system, into this system, and then create the asset even further. Because to get the housing that he wants, or the Lamborghini, even the rich also knows that to even buy a Lamborghini, it takes quite a bit of asset to even get a loan to even pay it off in the first place. Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all that. So to play that game for the average folks, for you and I, to aspire to be that level, you probably need to do more than just living below your means. That's what he's trying to get at. But to say that it's keeping you poor, I again disagree, because for again the average folks like you and me, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I also talked about credit card debts, and every average folks is in Singapore especially, they are rolling over their balances just to keep up with whatever they are paying off, because they treat their liabilities as asset. So again, like I mentioned, you need to differentiate between the assets of needs and assets of wants, and basically the in general idea of assets, because not everything is an asset. Not everything is an asset. Cars are definitely a depreciating asset, so that's a liability. To Robert Kiyosaki, that's a liability, is not an asset. He already stresses it out in his video. So for people who buy, who just use their salary to buy a car, for instance, that is just using their salary, which is their money, their cash, their asset, to pay off a liability. But some people treat their car as an asset, which is entirely false in the first place. So I understand where Mr. Robert Kiyosaki is getting at. Again, for the average folks like you and I, we will probably need to figure that it's not wise to listen to him wholesale. For us who possibly need to figure the asset part of it, which I believe, I kid you not, to even have assets, you probably need to save. You probably need to budget out that you need a certain amount of money, a certain amount of funds, before even the banks or even anybody can look at you in the first place. I don't know why Mr. Robert Kiyosaki created that video, because it creates this illusion that to get rich, you have to be like him. That's not the case. Rich in everybody's sphere of competence is very different. Like me, I'm trying to be financially free. That's for certain. I'm trying to be financially free. I live, again, I mentioned earlier, I live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm in my six figures, I have a six-figure, in my account, and it's steadily growing. It may not grow to what Robert's, assets grow to, the speed of it, but I'm happy it is. And I'm living below my means, but I also treat myself, but I know where to find the discounts. Like for instance, this McDonald's that I bought, you can consider it a luxury, but it's discounted. It's something that if you aren't living below your means, you will most probably buy this burger at $6.60 and your Starbucks or Luckin Coffee at $5-6, or your bubble tea, I don't know how much price it is now. I really never drink these kind of drinks at all nowadays, so I'm not very sure how to tell you, But anyway, to sum it up in this video, living below your means does not mean that it will keep you poor. On the contrary, it's actually a stepping stone to getting yourself out of being poor. But from Robert Kiyosaki's mindset is, after you have an asset, created an asset living below your means, then possibly you can actually leverage on other people's debt to create more assets. That is another path that even Warren Buffett, who is quite, I'm not saying miserly, he's quite his way, his choice of using his money is very different from Robert Kiyosaki, and yet Warren Buffett and his family, the asset, the Berkshire Hathaway, they are also quite prudent in the way they invest, and yet Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world, even richer than Robert Kiyosaki. So for goodness sake, you need to think before you do anything or listen to anybody who is the so-called influencer in this finance space. So that's me, telling you that living below your means does not mean that it will keep you poor. On the contrary, it helps you get out of being poor, the poor mindset, the broke mindset, and then possibly do more, and then maybe look at Robert Kiyosaki's way and then create more assets. So that's my take on it. Maybe you can comment down below what is your take on this matter. You can comment down below, and I'll see you around in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.